It is Friday the 13th of April, and this has been a really different week, I think, for some of the stuff that happened at Totally Guitars. The first thing is, as sort of happened at the beginning of the week, we do have the student uploader working, and I really hope people will start putting stuff in there. I haven't seen much added to it since Chris put in. There it is. Let me try that again. Anyway, so it was nice to have something to talk about, some good suggestions to put in there. Mostly learning to use a pick and alternate up and down. So, but I hope people start putting things in there so I can get back to what I really like to do, which is help people solve problems, musical problems. When I said it's kind of an unusual week, the jazz stuff just kind of, for me, it was a loose ends week. We finally got this taken care of. There we go. Etc. Anyway, and so that was nice, but all these projects kind of kept getting interrupted, including the Satin Doll one that we finally finished up today. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And the Max's edition, well, a bunch of new stuff to me, stuff that I was not familiar with. Of course, Vanessa's tune, the Champaign song, How About Us, had never crossed my radar. And didn't really know that much about Freddie Hubbard and Red Clay till I started listening to him like a couple of days ago and watched some of Max's lesson, and just really unusual chords. You know, these minor 11th chords, C and B flat, and 7 sus4 chords, just not chromatically, moving up by whole steps. D flat, E flat, F, G. That's the kind of stuff that, anyway, it's very confusing, but a really cool sound. And then, of course, in Satin Doll, we had a lot of jazzy chords, but they're the softer ones, not the minor 11s and the 7 sus4s and stuff like that. So it was a little bit more, I don't know, kind of standard stuff. And the technique that I kind of introduced, I can't really think if I've had this in other songs yet or not, was the idea of anticipating bass notes, meaning the bass notes come on the and before the chord change. So instead of something like this, I'll just do it with the D minor 7 and G7, where the bass was this. But instead of that, we get to the bass note on the and before the beat. So that's a really useful technique in fingerpicking songs, and can be kind of cool. It gives a little extra different dimension to the bass than just if I just played Satin Doll without it. I don't know if I can. Now there's an anticipated melody note. That melody note of the G coming in on the and of beat 4 of the measure before the bass note comes in. So that was the straight bass. Then the anticipated bass though would be this. I didn't like it on the D minor 7. That was bad, huh? So a lot of the bass notes that should have been on beat 3 were on the and of 2, and it's a really useful technique to have happen in there. What else happened this week? I had a visitor last week, or 2 weeks ago now, I guess is actually when it was. Victor, who came in, and we worked on Eva Cassidy's arrangement of At Last, and that was really fun because it was another song I wasn't too familiar with. You know, we have Eva playing around the house all the time, and I'd definitely had heard it and her arrangement, but never really paid attention to it. So it was kind of cool that, you know, Victor. We learned this new chord shape, this movable C7 shape, is really useful. Matter of fact, it could be used in the chord progression in Satin Doll. When we have what we have in that song. Okay, this is going to turn into a little analysis of it. It's a whole bunch of 2s to 5s. Chord 2 being a minor 7 chord, 5 being a dominant chord, either a 7th or a 9th. And so if you're doing that from the A family to the E family, the A family would be at 1 fret, in this case the 5th fret, and then the E family would be at the 2 frets lower, the 3rd fret. So that's our shape going from 2 to 5, and then 1 would be C in this case, C major 7, D minor 7 2, G 7 5. So that little triangular layout of 1, 2, and then 5 over here as low on the E's. If you're starting in the E family, 2 like A minor 7 and D7 5 would be at the same fret, and now chord 1 would be 1 step lower at chord in the E family. All right, you got that? If you start on E, 2 and 5 are at the same fret, and 1 is a fret below in the same shape as 2. If you start on the A family, 2 is 2 frets higher than 5 and 1, which are at the same fret. Okay, write that down and digest it. So when you're doing it from the E to the A family, A minor 7 to D7, if I did them both as bars, I would play the A minor 7 this way and the D7 like this. But an easier and kind of cooler sounding way would be to play the A minor 7 the jazzier way, where you're only playing 4 strings, a hinge bar here, playing the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings at the 5th fret and the 6th string. And I could go to a 9th chord just by moving everything that way out of the sort of the A family, but it's from our B7 shape. And when we get into that part in Satin Doll, it could just be this. A bunch of chords close to each other. Also could use the C7 shape as I went into with Victor in At Last, with E flat 7 being at the 4th fret and D7 being at the 3rd fret, whereas of course C7 would be at the 1st fret. So this C7 shape is pretty cool and movable. Where did I just use it? In Josie it happens. It's an F sharp 7 played up at the 7th fret to a B7 with a sharp 5. I might get to a lesson on that. What do you guys think? If we did that, boy, just thinking out loud, I'd have to have everybody get Pete Huttlinger's arrangement. That means buying it from his site. It's like $3 or $4, but I think that's what we'd have to do because he just has this fantastic arrangement of it. And if you guys would like, let me know if you think that you'd like to see a lesson on the way Pete did it, and it just wouldn't be. Anyway, I think that would be the plan. Okay. Okay, that's all I have for this week. Hopefully some exciting things next week.